Since Dr. Shala and Mr. Bazarat have assumed leadership of Cricket West Indies, our team have gone lower. For example, when they took over, we have a number of West Indies batsmen averaging in the mid to upper 30s in Test cricket. The former captain Craig Brathwaite was in his high 30s. We have players like Bravo, we have players like Blackwood, Bonner, Mayers. Now, at this stage, we have a group of players who are averaging mid to low 20s and even some in the teens. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the number one cricket channel in the Caribbean. I thank you for being here. This is the player rating show for the third T20 International between West Indies and Australia. Now, there's no doubt that the West Indies cricket team is a poor team. We accept that the team does not possess the quality that it once had. However, we cannot accept the embarrassment that is being dished out to us night after night, day after day. As I pointed out yesterday during the watch along, if you have a child that entered high school averaging 20, you would want by the time that child leave high school, he or she will be averaging 50s and 60s. You do not necessarily want that child to remain at 20. If that child having entered high school averaging 20, and by the time he or she reach fifth form, they are averaging less than 20, then the teachers would have failed, and you would have been demanding that the principals, the administrators at the school be fired, even the board. So we must be consistent. If we have a cricket team where it is going lower and lower, I was not the first one to see this. The West Indies batsman, a West Indies batsman who have played over 100 test matches and have captained the West Indies team, he said it 2 years ago, and maybe that's the reason why he was fired from being the assistant coach. Now, we can't expect a team that possesses such limited quality, such quality that is seriously challenged to be competitive. But we will not sit back for perpetuity and expect the team to continue to go lower and lower and lower. Now, there are other things that I want to look at, and this is a player rating show, and come to each individual players in a very short while. It has been glaring over these past three T20 matches that the Australian bowlers are much more skilled than the West Indies bowlers. The Australian bowlers did not born more skilled than the West Indies bowlers. They become more skilled than the West Indies bowlers by putting in more hours into practice, more hours at work, more hours at developing their game. That is why they are more skilled than our bowlers. They have simply worked harder at doing the things that they want to do more than our bowlers. It is clear that the Australian bowlers simply believe that you don't practice till you get it right, but you practice until you cannot get it wrong. It is clear that the Australian bowlers are continuously working at evolving their game to the next level. And when they work at these skills, they just don't simply work on it and say, yes, we got it. No. When they got it, they continue to do it and do it and do it over again so that they are able to execute in matches. You often heard our coaches and our captain said the team did not execute. Why the team did not execute? Because we did not practice enough. We did not learn the skill enough. So when we are in the stadium, in front of the cameras, in front of the crowd, and the pressure is on us to execute in a live match situation, because we do not have the muscle memory that some would call it, the involuntary reflex action, the trained conditioning of your body. We do not have it, and therefore we do not execute as we should have. Also, on the subject of the Australian bowlers, it is also clear to me that the West Indies team, while they may be prepared for the Australian batsmen and probably would have worked out a strategy, although we do not see any strategy, as they said, as the thumbnail said, we are tactically bankrupt. What is also evident to me is that our batsmen do not study the Australian bowlers. They do not sit down and look at clippings and see what the Australian bowlers are doing and see how they position their body to bowl a certain delivery and see what is their mannerism when they are going to bowl a certain delivery. They do not study it. For example, Ellis, they cannot pick up when he's bowling the slower bouncer. They cannot pick up when he's bowling the back of her arm slower deliveries. They cannot pick up when he's bowling cutters. They cannot pick up when he delivers the ball from out of the front of his hand. Simple, in my opinion, and it's clear to me, there's no evidence to suggest otherwise. They do not study the Australian bowlers to know what the Australian bowlers are doing. So they struggled at the crease because they are reading it off the pitch. They are reading it off after the deliveries are delivered. And you are at a disadvantage because clearly you just have a split second to make up your mind when you are batting. The third thing that I want to say this morning before I come to the player ratings, I may take a few of your comments. I hope you are doing the player ratings. I will do mine live. Click on the link in the video description and do your player ratings. I noticed that the link, when it is in the live chat, it doesn't open. But in the video description, immediately below the video, you will see the link there for the player ratings. Click on it. Please also remember to like, share the video, and also subscribe. The third thing that and when I say this, I do not have any evidence of this. I hear things, I am hearing things, and from what I'm hearing, I'm trying to piece things together as a detective. Now, I know how emotional West Indies cricket fans are. I am fully aware that the Shea Hope fans will probably don't want to hear this. But I'm not necessarily talking about Shea Hope. I'm talking about the individual that is caught up in the middle of this. Now, last night I said that Shafin Rutherford is clearly not happy with the fact that Shea Hope was named West Indies ODI Cricketer of the Year and not him. And he's a human being. And I really think, added to that, and that Shea Hope was the captaincy was taken from Rovman Powell and given to Shea Hope. We believe that these two things were done to convince Shea Hope to play Test cricket. Why would you want to convince Shea Hope to play Test cricket when he's not better than the rest? Clearly not better than the rest in Test cricket. And I challenge anybody on that. The numbers clearly speaks for themselves. And what else can you judge performance from except the numbers? So why would you divide a dressing room? Because clearly there's two different cliques in the dressing room. There's a clique who are not happy with the fact that Shea Hope was given the T20 captaincy ahead of Rovman Powell. They are not happy that the T20 captaincy was taken from Rovman Powell and given to Shea Hope. Added to that now is that although Shafane Rutherford was nominated in the top three, shortlisted in the top three for the ICC ODI Cricket of the Year. ICC, mean global, the world. Out of everyone that is playing cricket in the world, Shafane Rutherford was one of the three persons nominated, shortlisted by the ICC for the ODI Cricket of the Year. Yet still, Cricket West Indies gave their ICC Player of the Year to Shea Hope. Now, there are persons who are not happy with that because persons see what is going on. Persons are asking, how come Shea Hope got it ahead of Shafane Rutherford? And now those persons now, the Shafane Rutherford crew and the Rovman Powell crew are now siding together. And then Shea Hope is now left out on his own as a Darren Sammy puppet, as a Miles Bascom puppet, as a Cricket West Indies puppet, the dictatorship. So there's a split in the West Indies dressing room. There's division right now in the West Indies dressing room. Though there may be more things that are causing the division, but those are the two fundamental things. Shea Hope being awarded the West Indies One-Day Cricket of the Year and Shea Hope being appointed West Indies T20 captain. Persons in the team are not seeing why he merit those two things, and it is definitely causing a split in the West Indies cricket team. I will take your comments before I do my player ratings, which I'm going to go to that player rating right now. So I really like Sammy and had best hopes for him, but results show that he as head coach isn't what West Indies needs now. I believe if he uses his algorithm bot on himself, this will be the recommendation. What a brilliant comment there from Cladrick Miles. No bias, just putting forward his objective view. So what a wonderful comment there from Chadwick Miles. So is Chadwick Miles, I love this intelligent reflection because whether one agrees with what you are saying or disagree, you put forward an intelligent point. You are saying, here Sammy is a man who believes in data. His every steps are driven by data. If he used that data and analyze himself, he would see for himself that the data reflect that he's performing below average. I love that comment. Whether you agree with him or not, it's a very, very good point. Joseph Victor is saying the whole management out. I am hearing that a lot, and you would have heard it because it's also in the media. And last night, my good friend, well, I shouldn't call his name, but a good friend of this channel sent me a very interesting podcast from a gentleman, and I should not call the country name, but it's very interesting, and I listened to it, and I want to thank you for sending me that podcast, and I really appreciate that. He could have played another 3 years. Darren Bravo could have played another 3 years, said Joseph Victor. Of course, Darren Bravo is really better than a lot of who we have now. Sammy should go, said the champion. The champion. Welcome, the champion. Good morning. Mistake number 1, removing Rovman Powell as captain. Mistake number 2, he says is follow data. He says is following data, isn't not? Mistake number 3, accepting being the coach of the test team. Said, so the champion are listing is 3 reasons. why Darren Sammy should go. Knowledge win game, not years of service. West Indies do not have the knowledge, which is sad, said Farm. I wish, Farm, that you would elaborate on that post, and I really appreciate it. Welcome, Bet. Good to have Bet here. Bet is also a member of the channel. Bet, as you see, has now become a member of the channel, and his comment is clearly on the screen there. That's why you see Bet comment on the screen there, because Bet is now a member of the channel. Thank you very much, Bet. We appreciate your financial support to the channel, and we appreciate it very much. Practice builds stamina and focus and bird skills. Practice builds stamina and focus and bird skills. There also had to be self-analysis. One must go over mistakes and find solutions. Finally, one must know their opponent. And that, you said some very interesting thing there, Bet. And, I don't want to think that because you are a financial contributor of the channel that I am agreeing with you because of that. But you are in agreement with what I'm saying, that we must focus on developing our skill sets. Now, clearly, there are some basic fundamental movements that will determine whether you're a good cricketer, whether you have the ability to be a good cricketer from a very early age. You will see those persons, scouts, and persons who can spot talents will see those fundamental basic movement skills that you so possess. And now, after identifying those skills, you now have to focus on developing them. So, and I clearly believe so. And you must have to analyze your opponent. And why is it that the West Indies batsmen are struggling against the Australian bowlers so much? I am convinced. Look at the Australian batsmen, how they are playing Hussain. They know that Hussain get the ball to seam back in the new ball. Or they prepare to bat him, they prepare to sweep him. To sweep him down backward of square leg. And someone like Maxwell, who is a master of the reverse sweep, is prepared to sweep him, reverse sweep him. So that's a tactics. Whether it works or not, you see it. And clearly West Indies drop the ball again. And this is why you wonder about the tactics, because I said it last night in the show. One of the things that we are hearing why Rovman Powell and Darren Sammy have a clash is the usage of Akeal Hussain. That Darren Sammy looks at the data, and the data shows him that Akeal Hussain is our most economical bowler. And so from looking at the data, Darren Sammy believes that we should have Hussain bowling right through the innings. Over there, over here, over there, and over there. But that data didn't tell him that when Akeal Hussain bowls 4 overs within the first 10 overs, that's how he's effective. That's why his economy is so low. And that was a clash I'm getting to understand. Rovman Powell insisting that Akeal Hussain should bowl his 4 overs up front, and Darren Sammy insisting that no, he needs to bowl right through the innings. His spell needs to extend right through the innings. You can make it of your own which side you want to come down on, but that was one of the reasons why there was a personality clash. There are other reasons, but that was one of them. I honestly feel that the players need to evaluate Sammy. It can be done anonymously, but we need to know how they feel about the coach. Bet all indications is that the players The highest team that they held Sammy in before he was appointed, that has fallen. That has fallen. The indications are, and what I'm hearing, it's not a case that he has lost the dressing room, but they are dissenting voice. The number of dissenting voices in that dressing room is growing. There was a time when he was not questioned what he said in the dressing room. More and more now, he's been questioned what he's been said in the dressing room. Top of the morning to you, Mr. Casanova. Happy to have you here. I think we need a coach with a different culture and a new approach that has no favorites. Well said, Mars. Well said. Good morning to you, Donald Popo. I have not seen any improvement with the team yet. Good luck to the team, said Donald Popo. And that's what persons are. That's what the biggest challenge, you know. The Darren Sammy supporters are saying the team is poor. Let's say, no, I shouldn't say the Darren Sammy supporters, because there are persons who are saying Darren Sammy out but support the coach. Those who are saying Darren Sammy in are saying that the team is poor. The team is poor. The players are not good. The Darren Sammy out are saying he has not improved the poor team. I'm putting it in quotation mark because this is a colloquial way of saying it, and I'm not disrespecting anybody. A child who is averaging 20, you would call that child, in quotation mark, dunce. A child who is averaging 25, in quotation mark, you still call that child dunce. But what's the difference? That dunce child moved from 20 to 25. So the team can be a poor team. But if you see improvement in the team, then you can say, yes, their improvement, the team is still poor, but their improvement. What we are seeing in this team is that it is definitely getting worse. And that's what the Darren Sammy out supporters are saying. The team is getting worse. The team is poor, but it's getting worse. David Stott is saying, sir, if in need there is a split, it is unfortunate splits are left in the dressing room, not on the field. You see, David Stott, we would want that. That would be the ideal. And persons are human beings, and I always made a point that one of the greatest Manchester United team of all times, was it Smiker or was it the goalkeeper? No, what's the goalkeeper before Smiker name? No, it was Smiker. It was Smiker. Van der Sar was after Smiker, and Van der Sar was more peaceful person. But Roy Keane and Smiker, Andy Cole and Sheringham, Roy Keane and Smiker would fight before a match, but when they go on the field, they are defending Manchester United. Up to this day, Terry Sheringham and Andy Cole, they don't pass each other's on the road. They are bitter enemy. And if you look back at the career of Manchester United, you will see how many goals Andy Cole and Sheringham combined to score for Manchester United. You know, so we want those things to be left in the dressing room. But again, the IQ of a Roy Keane, the sport IQ of a Roy Keane and a Smiker and a Sheringham and a Cole, is that not the same sport IQ we have? And personal disagreement, you know, when two persons have a personal disagreement that is not intricately linked to things that are happening in the team, it is easier to leave that in the dressing room than to not carry it on the field. So if there, for example, there's a personality clash between Rutherford and Powell, it is easier for them to forget that when they go on the field because it is a personality clash. Whenever they feel that the team, the management of the team has wronged them, it's harder to leave that in the dressing room. You get the point, David? If the clash is personality between two persons, it is easier to put that aside when you go on the cricket field. When you think, though, that you are being wronged by the team, the management, the structure, the system, when you think that you have been done wrong, it's a totally different ball game that David Stewart, totally different ball game. It is not that straightforward. I hope you are doing your player ratings because I'm coming to the player ratings very, very shortly now. So Kurt is saying, good morning to you. The main problem with the T20 team is the bowling attack. The spin bowling of because ineffective. People forget Hussain was dropped from the ODI team and Moti was dropped from the test team. I wish I could see the relationship, Kurt. I wish I could really understand the point that you're trying to make. So I cannot give you a feedback because I don't understand the point you're trying to make, Kurt. I honestly don't understand. So even if Sammy gets removed, and this is the point that I'm making, because persons are saying this, and Mr. Casanova, I hope you understand it. I have addressed this already, Mr. Casanova, so I don't think I need to go over it again. But the point is not that the team is poor. The point is that the team is not even showing that 1% of improvement. If anything, the team is getting worse. So, and I point out, I show you the dunce illustration. And again, I use the word dunce in quotation mark and doesn't mean disrespectful. I'll show you the dunce. You want the teacher to incrementally improve in your child. If you have a child, and again, I do not use this because I have to keep on repeating it. I do not use this word dunce in any disrespectful way, but I use it to make the point more vividly. So if you have a child and no parents is willing to admit that their child is dunce publicly, but they know it in their heart because they know. So if you have a child that is dunce and that child is go to school, are you just going to continue to support that child financially, send that child to school each day and support that child, give that child moral support and everything? You do that because you want the child to improve. And if the teacher is not getting the child improve, are you just going to say, let you stay at that school because even if she go to another school, she not going to improve? You are going to put out, if you are a responsible parent, you are going to put out the effort and try other things, even if you have to move the child from that school to another school if you really want your child to improve. So the only way you are not going to try things to try to get your child improve if the child is not improving, unless you accept that the child is dunce, and we as West Indies supporters cannot just stay here and say that our team is poor, so we must just accept the poor performance and we must just accept the team getting lower and lower and lower and lower. We must not accept that, So that's the point we are making. And person would say, well, boy, the child is dunce before the child went to high school. So what? As a parent, you're going to accept that. The team was losing before Sammy took over. So you're just going to accept a perpetual state of losing. Why? Why? Is that how you want to see it? Because, oh, Sammy is being criticized because he's from St. Lucia. And if we use another coach, the other coach can't do better. How do you know that? Yeah? How do you know if you don't move your child from the school that the child is just not improving in and put the child at another school? How will you know that the child will improve? You have to see incremental improvement. And you realize that those persons who are saying Darren Sammy in, they cannot come up with an argument to defend the Darren Sammy in position. All they can say is that the team has been losing. The team has been losing. Is that Darren Sammy's fault? That's not an argument. That's not an argument. The team is now being embarrassed. The team can't even win a match. Can't even win a match. We used to have our local one a series performance. And we call persons like Blackwood and Hattonese and Hodge. And we all call those persons one a series. Not even those one a series performances we are not getting now. So all who want to, so just tell us why we should not expect the team to improve. Tell us why we should accept the team going lower and lower and lower. Yeah. Good day from Antigua, said Cardell Armstrong. West Indies players are not professional at all. That is on the coach, That is on the coach. The coach must instill professionalism. That's on the coach, man. That's on the coach. Sammy's decision to put in a nervous young man on his debut against a top bowling like Stark is a day and night match. I don't really have an issue with him with Anderson batting at number 3 in the test match. I clearly did not have an issue. So here is Kuram Gruno. Why should the coach take the fall for the players? With poor fundamental cricketing skill, no replacement for Sammy will do any better. All right, so I ask you this question. I put it to you then, that if no coach can improve the team, that's even a bigger reason why we should fire the entire coaching staff and just let the team play. Let just the captain do his thing. Since no coach can improve the team, we do not need a coach. Just fire everybody and leave the team there on its own. Probably you have a team manager to do the logistics and to make sure everything is in place. And you have a physio, of course, and a physical trainer. But we don't need the West Indies team. The West Indies cricket team does not need any coach, because no coach can improve this team. None. No coach can improve this team. I'm Sammy out. This is the moment that I decided that I am Sammy out, because I am being told that no coach can improve the West Indies cricket team. Therefore, we do not need a coach. I am not only Sammy out, I am totally coach out. No coach can improve the West Indies cricket team. So we don't need a coach. Finally, what's his name? Kernagruar, apologize for not pronouncing your name properly. But thank you. Thank you for putting me out of my misery. Thank you. No coach can improve the West Indies cricket team. Therefore, I am happy to tell you that the West Indies cricket team doesn't need a coach, because a coach cannot change the result. So thank you very much I am very, very happy. I'm very, very happy for that. So let me go to the player ratings because yes, I'm fully. So let's discuss. Let's discuss. Let's discuss other things because we are no secret that Sammy is out, and let's see what the chat what's the live chat is saying because there was a poll in the live chat. Oh, 71% of you are saying Sammy out, and it's 80% voted. You know, once it reach 100, marketing experts will tell you that once you get at least 100% of feedback in a poll, it is a good reflection of what the society is thinking. So 80% have voted already. Let's see if we can get it up to 100, and then that would be a very, very good reflection of what the Caribbean community is saying about Darren Sammy as the head coach. So we're going to wait on this till to reach 100 and see. At this moment, 71% of you are saying Darren Sammy out. We are at 84 votes now, so that is very instrumental. And I'm saying Darren Sammy out. Clearly, the West Indies team does not need a coach because no coach can improve the West Indies team. We just need a manager and a physio and so on. Please remember to hit that thumbs up button, show your appreciation for the discussion that we are having. Over 200 of you watching and only 18 likes. So let me go to the player rating. Show some appreciation. So I'm going to go into the player ratings here. Now I'm going to do my player rating, and as usual, I do my player rating live. So let me do my player rating live here. So I add that to the stage and to do my player rating. So Brandon King opened last night. He made 62 from 36 deliveries, strike rate of 172. And I'm going to talk about Sheop and Brandon King in the same because those two top score for the West Indies. And although I appreciate the runs, a strike rate of 172 and 178 was never going to win us a match on that pitch. So yes, they make the runs. We should be grateful for those runs. 102 from 57 deliveries. If you compare that, so if for example, you compare Sheop 102 to Tim David 102, Sheop took 57 deliveries to make his 102. Tim David took 37 deliveries to make his 102. And a century is a century. But was it a century that can win you a match? Clearly not. It is easy to say because we lost the match. But on that pitch, he and Brandon King especially been set. Both of them should have gone faster. And strike rates of less than 180. Having used up so many deliveries, you needed to go faster. Those two needed to go faster. Because if you don't go faster after using up so many deliveries, 57 and 36, that's 93. So both those two use up, 83. Yes, 93. Yeah, 5 and 3, 8, 93. So both those two use up 93 deliveries, leaving the other batsmen with only 27 deliveries. So having used up those 93 deliveries, those two should have gone faster. Their strike rate of mid 170s to high 170s, both less than 180, was not good enough. And although I give Brandon King a 6 for the half century, it would have been higher if his strike rate, was like 200. And I'll give Shea Hope a 7, mainly because he has scored a century, and a century must be respected. But if you compare those two West Indies batsmen who use up 93 of the 120 deliveries, striking at 170, I think 172 for Brandon King and 179 for Shea Hope, and you compare that to the Australian batsmen, Marsh was the only one that strike under Marsh and Cameron Green. Of the 6 batsmen that batted for Australia, Marsh and Cameron Green were the only 2 batsmen that strike under 200. The next lowest was Mitchell Owens, who strike at 225. All the other batsmen were above 250. So clearly, Shea Hope and Brandon King using up 93 deliveries between the 2 of them, and only going at a strike rate of 179 and 172 was not good enough. Shimron Hetmyer came to the crease. He batted at number 3. Again, he faced less than 9 deliveries, less than 10 deliveries, 6 deliveries this time. He made 9. Strike rate of only 150. He should have, can't give him more than 1. So 1 for Shimron Hetmyer. The same for Shafane Rutherford. Faced 12 deliveries, make on the 12 runs. I recall during the watch along, a number of persons were saying, why West Indies bowling so many full toss? Of course, there was a lot of dew. That's why there were so many full toss. But you have to practice in the dew. I saw a team practicing, and they have a bath pan, and they put the ball in the bath pan and they took it out. And so they will have like 10, 20 balls in the bath pan of water. And so that those balls are being soaked, and they bowl one, and they put back that one in the bath pan and take up another one out of the, and so the balls are consistently soaking, and so they are able to deal with the dew. So that is something you have to practice. We were bowling a lot of full toss, but the point I want to make is that I recall Shafane Rutherford getting about 3 or 4 full toss in his innings, and none of them went for more than a single. So, clearly, then I can't give him more than 1. Ravman Powell came, he faced 5 balls, he made 9 runs, he hit 2 fours, 9 runs from 5 deliveries. He wasn't going to face many deliveries at the time when he comes, but a strike rate of 180, still under 200, I'll give him a 2. So I'll give Ravman Powell a 2. Can't give him more than a 2. His strike rate of 180, yes, 5 deliveries, but again he only made 9 runs. If he had not out like 20 from 8 deliveries, then it's a different thing. You give him an 8, but it's only 9 runs from 5 deliveries. You can't give him more than a 2. Romario Shepherd was the last West Indies batsman to have batted. He faced 3 deliveries. He hit 9 runs from those 3 deliveries. When he bowled, he should have gotten 3 wickets. He got only 2. 2 for 39 from 3.1. Brandon King dropped a sitter. And just reminding that Brandon King dropped that catch, and then a lack of confidence, because I think there was another opportunity that Brandon King could take a catch. And I think that in cricketing terms is what you would say, that he dodged the catch. So really and true, looking back at his performance, I would have loved to give him a 6 for his batting. But when you look at the catch that he dropped, and I think that he dodged a second catch. So I'm changing Brandon King rating from 6 to 5. So I'm changing it from 6 to 5 because I remember now that Romario Shepherd, he dropped that catch. So I will 39, the strike rate, the economy, you want the economy to be lower. When he batted, his strike rate was 300. You can't ask for more than that. He faced on the 3 deliveries. He got 9 runs, 2, 4, and a single. And I think that he bowled well, and I'm giving Romario Shepherd, well, 7 or is it 6? The economy got 2 wickets. I'm giving him a 7. I think he deserves a 7. Well, Ruston Chase just never bowled well last night. He bowled 1 over and it went for 23 runs. There's no way you can give him. He never batted. He bowled 1 over for 23 runs. He looked shell shocked. And again, decisions that are made. I understand Ruston Chase not coming at 3 last night, but why didn't he bat at 3 in the second T20 match? And how much after making 60 in the first T20 match, not batting back at 3 in the second T20? How much that how much effect that has on his confidence? That doesn't say that he gets more than 1 in this match, but I'm just looking at a sideshow and say, how much does that really have on his confidence? Jace Holder, 3 overs, 1 for 35, going at 11.66, never batted. Can't give him a 6, can't give him average, but I think that he deserves a 5. If probably the 3 overs at 11, I can't be at above 11, almost 12. He got a wicket. 4, I can't give him a 5. Yes. An economy of almost 12, you can't give him a 5. Well, I think Budakesh Moti should have batted earlier. But then again, who do you bat him ahead of? Because you have to bat Powell, you have to bat Shepherd, Rutherford, Meyer. Well, probably he would have been the next one in. So you can't really blame them for not sending Budakesh Moti. But his 2 overs went forward, 38 runs, 1. Akil Hussain is very interesting again because Akil's first 3 overs went for 19. His last over went for 20, and it goes back to the point where Akil Hussain need to bowl early. You need to get in those 4 overs early. His first 3 overs went for 19 or 17, thereabout. Very good up front. But when you start bowling after that ball get 10, going down into the 10, 12, 13 overs, somehow he's not as effective as he is at the top. And if you're having role for players, you talk about role, then Akil Hussain must have a role. And 4 overs for 39 runs. The only West Indies bowlers, once again, that went for less than 10 runs per over. And that's why I don't understand the comment. I think someone is saying that Akil Hussain is not bowling well. But again, he's the most economical West Indies bowler. I am giving Akil Hussain a 6. I think his performance was average. Jediah Blades bowled 1 outstanding over. That second over that he bowled was good, But in the end, his 3 overs went for 13.33. His T20 debut, you still cannot give him more than 1 because you don't judge a player off 1 performance or 1 over. You judge him on his performance throughout the match. And that's why you give someone Akil Hussain a 6 because you don't judge him off 1 over. You judge his overall performance. And then now. Shea Hope as a captain. I think that after Tim David started hit away the ball last night, that low mental resilience that I spoke about the West Indies team possessing, when it is against them, they do not show. Sorry. My apology. When the goings get rough against this West Indies team, their shoulders droop and their head drop. And I think that is one of the fundamental roles of the captain, to keep his team out there on the field, motivated, playing with intensity, and not giving up. clearly from about the 11th over, you realize that the team just gave up. And that lies with the captain and with the coach, and especially out on the field with the captain. And I'm not going to repeat these comments again when it comes to Sammy, but Shea Hope, I think, because he was cushioned into this position of captain, he was, cushioned, but and what those glowing terms, tactical precision with in-game analysis, and he's a master of these things, those glowing terms. And because he was cushioned into this captaincy role, he's not able to push back at Darren Sammy. And although I think Hope need to motivate the team, and out there on the field yesterday, he looks clueless. And part of that cluelessness comes about because it's like the coach is undermining every decision that the captain made out there. He's just whizzing around the boundary, coming down every time, issuing instruction. So the captain is second guessing himself what he should do. And maybe this is also part of the reason why other players are saying that, boss man, you probably need to come out here and play. Why are we out here if you are just issuing, like every delivery you are issuing new instruction, every overs? And I have said it many times, I firmly believe that the coach, and I think that today, I firmly believe that the coach can issue instruction to the captain, and those instructions should be followed. But I don't think it should be so often. I think after you discuss the thing in the dressing room, 1 or 2 times per match is the most. When the drinks break comes, if you have a discussion with the captain, get his feedback, give him suggestion during those 2 drinks break. But apart from that, I don't think the coach should be saying much to the captain more than 2 other times for the match. And sometimes, as I said last night, sometimes for the entire match, you don't say anything to him except for before the match, in the innings break, and at those 2 drinks break, you have a discussion. So I think that for captaincy and the fact that the team shoulders droop and their head dropped, and he never had the foresight to see that he was scoring too slowly, I cannot give Shea Hope more than a 2 for captaincy. Can't give him more than a 2 for captaincy. Darren Sammy, I don't really need to say much about Darren Sammy because we don't need a coach, because no coach can improve the team. Therefore, we don't need a coach. So I don't even know what grade to give him. But since he was a coach last night, let I give him a 2 for clearly we do not need a coach. And so, because no coach can improve the team, so we don't need a coach. West Indies cricket team don't need a coach. So I'm going to submit my results. So as you see, we as the West Indies cricket team don't need a coach, as you see there. Persons are saying that we don't need a coach. I'm gonna, before I go to your player ratings and to see who you rate, I'm just gonna check the comment section to see if we have more than 50 likes so that I can come to your comment. So I'm gonna go straight to your player ratings because we do not. I will check to see where this is now. So with over 106 persons voted, it is Darren Sammy out. So by an overwhelming majority, by a 71% to 29% overwhelming majority. That is almost 3-1. That is almost 3-1. The public is saying that Darren Sammy should go at 2.5-1. So that is more than 2-1. The general public is saying it's time for Darren Sammy to go as coach. So, and again, I'm saying my official position now, which just took place probably 10-15 minutes ago, is that Darren Sammy out, and that is based on two reasons. Persons who in the chat who are saying that no coach can improve the team. And so that is one. So if no coach can improve the team, then we don't need a coach. So that is one reason why I'm saying Darren Sammy out. And because the live chat, the poll that I'm doing here, more than 100 persons voted, and 71% of you are saying Darren Sammy out. So being a Democrat as I am, for me, it's, when I say Democrat, I don't mean that I support the Democratic Party in the United States. I'm not from the United States. I support none. I am not getting involved in their things. So, you know, so let's now go to what your ratings were. So I'm going to what your ratings were. So let's look here now. So I'm going to what your ratings were, because I'm very interested to see what your ratings were. So not many persons would have responded. It's one of these times when I know why not many persons respond. Persons don't want to rate their players because their players did poorly. So they did not want to rate their players, but only 6 of you decide to do the player rating. So, well, it says 6 of you speaking for the majority. So, so when 6 persons are speaking for the majority, this is what we get. It's now 7. So it's good to see that it's now 7 persons speaking for the majority. With over 200 of you watching, only 7 persons decided to do the player rating. So these persons are reflecting the opinion. So these persons are reflecting the opinion of all of you in the chat. So let's go to what these persons are saying. So let's see now. So for Brandon King, there's a split, majority of you, there's a split between 7 and 5. So that works out to 6. So for Brandon King, it's a 6 for Brandon King. For Sheo, 9.5. So reason with me now. Sheo use up 57% of the deliveries. 57 of the 120 deliveries. Make 102, which on a pitch where you see the par score was somewhere 250, 260. That was a par score. We needed to make 250 last night to have a fighting chance. And you are prepared to give Sheo 9 and 10. You are prepared to mark Sheo for the century. But you are not prepared to look at it deeper and see that Sheo really need to go faster than how he went last night. Both he and Brandon King needed to go faster. So you gave him a 9. Well, as I said, I'm a Democrat. I believe in democracy. I don't think he deserves a 9. I think he deserves a 7. But since you gave him a 9, well, Sheo gets a 9. Shimron Etmaya, 1.5. I have no problem with that. I gave him a 1. Shafane Rutherford, 1. I agree with that. Somebody gave Shafane Rutherford a 5. A man scored 12 from 12 deliveries and you gave him a 5. We are not interested in, when you do these rating and you do it like this, you know, And again, I don't know who did it. Are we really interested in West Indies cricket? Or we just interested in our own players? Because how can you give the man a 5 for 9 from 9? Ravman Powell, Persis gave Ravman Powell a 7. It's 9 in making up. And his strike rate was less than 100, less than 200. I'm surprised Persis gave him a 7. Wow. But majority though, 1 for Ravman Powell. Romario Shepherd, 6 for Romario Shepherd. So Shepherd got a 6. Ruston Chase, 1.5 for Ruston Chase, 1.5. So 1.5 for Ruston Chase. Jason Older, 2. Well, all right, no problem with that. I'm in agreement with that. Gudakesh Moti, definitely a 1. Fair enough. That's a 1. Akil Hussain, wow. 1.5 for Akil Hussain. Reason with me now. 3 good overs, 1 bad over. And you're saying that he deserved 1 and 2? I can't agree with that. I can't agree with that. Again, though, that's what you gave him. That's what you gave him. I have to respect what you gave him. But reason it out, people. He bowled 3 overs for 19 runs. 3 overs for 19 runs. And then he bowled 1 bad over. Yes, is he bowled the 1 bad over, but because of the coach and the captain, who is not playing Akil Hussain in the role that is best for Akil Hussain. I have to accept the fact that you gave him 1.5 because you speak, it's a community that speak, but I can never agree with that. I can never agree with a man bowling 3 overs for 19 runs and bowl 1 bad over, and you gave him only 1.5, 2. I can't agree with that. That's not fair. Jediah Blades, yes, 1. Yes, well, I agree with that. And again, I respect your views, and that's why I go with it. You said 1.5. I stick to the 1.5 because that's what you said. Those are your views. I have to stick with that. Blades 1. Shea Hope. They gave Shea Hope 5 for captaincy. 5 for captaincy? Wow. All right. You said 5. I don't know. I think probably you are grading him for his batting performance more than the captaincy. But if you look at that team shoulder dropped last night. If you look at Shea Hope, he was clueless. He wasn't even speaking to the bowlers like what he did in the second match at Sabina Park. And is that a clue? Just as that came up, is that a clue? At Sabina Park, you could see Shea Hope speaking to the bowlers, having a reason with the bowlers. Last night, he wasn't doing that. Was it that because at Sabina Park, Darren Sammy was not there, so Shea Hope feels in charge on the field of play? But in St. Kitts last night, Darren Sammy was there, and Shea Hope was only doing what Darren Sammy was saying. Very interesting days ahead. It's very interesting day ahead. And I think at the end of this series, don't be surprised if Shea Hope gives up the captaincy of the T20 team and say that this is not the way I want to captain a team. I will be happy to captain the West Indies cricket team, but this is not the way I want to captain it. 1 for Darren Sammy, okay. Yes, so I agree with this poll. So just going to run through it quickly now just to make sure, just to go through. So you give Brandon King a 7, Shea Hope a 9, Shimron Etmire 1.5, Shafane Rutherford 1, Ravman Powell 1, Romario Shepherd, he got a 6, so 6 for Romario Shepherd. Ruston Chase got 1.5. Jason Holder 2, Budakesh Motia 1, Akil Hussein 1.5. So that's the official rating. Blades 1. Shea Hope got 5 for captaincy and just below average. And the coach got 1. So that's the official ratings from the Cricket Forum community. My rating is just 1 person, so it's what the majority of you in the chat say. So I go with your ratings every day over mine, because mine, as I said, is just 1. So I'm just gonna check before to see if I can take some of your comments. Just want to check to see if I can take some of your comments. The like is still just at 42. The poll is still holding steady at 71%. Out, over 110 persons voted, and it's still holding steady at 71%. So clearly, the majority of persons believe that a coach can improve the team. So the minority of you who believe that a coach cannot improve the team, you are in the minority. So you just need to accept what the majority said. The majority is saying that Sammy out, and they are saying it because they think that the majority think that a coach can improve the team. The majority think that the team is going lower under Darren Sammy. So if you don't think that a coach can improve the team, those of you who are saying that Sammy in because you don't think that a coach can improve the team. So I have to take Bet comment because, as you know, Bet is a financial supporter of this channel. So I have to take his comment. He's a member of the channel. West Indies need to have more fight in them, said Bet. I agree. I totally agree with that. I said that. The team psychologist really needs to work with the players. Their heads need examining, so that the head doctor needs to work really hard. Thank you for that comment, Bet. We said it last night. We saw it. The mental resilience, that's the term that I use. The mental resilience. The team shoulder droop last night. Their head dropped when he was on the go. So thank you very much, Bet, for your comments. And that's where we have to leave it this morning. Have a wonderful day, everyone. I wish I could take more of your comments, but the 50 likes threshold did not reach, although over 700 persons have watched. So thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate you all being here. Have a wonderful Saturday. I don't think that I'm doing a watch along tonight unless those persons who support the channel financially said that I should do it, because they are the ones who are supporting the channel financially, and if they want to watch along, then I have to do that. It's my responsibility to do it. So otherwise, I'm not going to do a watch along unless a majority of the persons. So Bet alone cannot say it, but if Bet say it and the others say it and a majority of them said it, then I will do a watch along. Otherwise, I'm not going to do a watch along. I cannot do a watch along for this team unless I have to. Take care of yourself. Take care of your loved ones. One love. Have a wonderful day, everyone.